To avoid unnecessary questions, In Sanua always told people she wrote CEO romances, but in reality, she wrote BL, boys love, stories. It was fine to keep writing, but on a whim, she started a new story with Su Lanfan as the prototype for the main character, which infuriated the young man. At that time, he squinted at her and said, "You made your boyfriend the protagonist of a BL novel, In Sanua. Are you trying to break up with me?" In Sanua quickly shook her head. "Absolutely not. I was wrong. I'm willing to be your slave, work hard without complaint. Just please don't make me stop writing. I have a contract. If you're using me to make money, then the manuscript fee should be split 50-50, Su Lanfan said, moving his lips lightly, as if it was no big deal. But In Sanua felt a sharp pain in her heart. But as it turned out, being threatened once meant it could happen again, and again. Especially when dealing with someone as thick-skinned and cunning as Su Lanfan, In Sanua felt she might not survive this winter. Demanding money wasn't enough. He started tormenting her in other ways. Making her get up early to buy buns from the stall near the west gate of the school, making her get up early to accompany him to the English corner, and making her get up early to go jogging with him. In Sanua was a super lazy person who wished she could hibernate in winter, so getting up early was pure torture for her. But even though she cursed Su Lanfan in her heart countless times, In Sanua had no choice but to comply. She couldn't help it. She had provoked him, and she had found herself a fake boyfriend. In Sanua put on earmuffs, a mask, a scarf, gloves, and wrapped herself in a thick down jacket before heading out to see university. Yes, it was another early morning. Last night, Su Lanfan had sent her a WeChat message, telling her to save him a seat in the lecture hall because he had drunk too much and couldn't get up in the morning. In Sanua was too lazy to expose him. Unless it was premeditated, he never touched alcohol, and even when he went to parties, he just sat there, yet he dared to say he had drunk too much. He was lying with no sincerity at all. When she got to the lecture hall, In Sanua chose a seat in the middle, put her earmuffs and mask on the desk to save the seat, and prepare to catch up on some sleep. In Sanua. Hearing someone call her, In Sanua looked up and saw two heavily made-up girls standing at the door. Su Lanfan was carrying breakfast as he walked towards the classroom, and his roommate, Fang Jun, yawned beside him. "Do you really need to do this? Since the start of the semester, you've only slept in the dorm once, and now you have to see Senior In first thing in the morning to ease your lovesickness." Su Lanfan yawned too, lazily replying, "Not seeing her for one night feels like 3 autumns. Got a problem with that?" Fang Jun clicked his tongue. "Su Lao Air, you're hopeless." Su Lanfan pressed on. "In Sanua is my medicine, and I'm just going to take my dose." Fang Jun shivered. "You're shameless, with love talk rolling off your tongue. Look at the goosebumps on my arm." Keratosis pilaris is a common skin condition. You don't need to feel self-conscious about it. Su Lanfan, you bastard. Yeah. The two of them were still bantering when they reached the classroom, and before they even entered, they heard In Sanua's voice. She said, "You're all dolled up, but has Su Lanfan ever given you a second glance? In your eyes, he's probably a high-cold, arrogant guy who doesn't care about anyone. Well, let me tell you, he has me in his contacts as my little heart, and I call him Su Little Dog because he loves hugging and kissing me, and he's super clingy. I'm just being kind by not showing off to make others jealous, otherwise." "My little heart," Fang Jun repeated, dramatically clutching his chest. "Su Lao Air, you're so mushy. I can't bear to look." "Yeah, I'm so dazzling. It's not something a mere mortal like you can gaze at directly." After saying this shamelessly, Su Lanfan lifted his leg and entered the classroom. As soon as In Sanua saw him, she immediately changed her tone. "Su Lanfan, these two people bullied me, saying that you don't really like me, that you're just using me as a nanny." She half joked, half told the truth. Earlier, the two girls had been smug and arrogant, taking turns criticizing her. One said, "With your plain looks, you'd get lost in a crowd, yet you dare monopolize Su Lanfan." Another said, You're 3 years older than Su Lanfan, right? Age makes you good at taking care of people, which is why you're saving seats and attending classes with him like a nanny. You're just afraid of losing his heart, aren't you? Su Lanfan walked straight to his seat, handed the breakfast to Yin Sanue and asked, "Who made Monday's dinner?" Yin Sanue replied without thinking, "You did. It was braised pork ribs, and your cooking skills have improved." "And Tuesday?" Su Lanfan asked again, casually picking up the earmuffs on the desk and hanging them around his neck. "You." "Steamed sea bass, a bit bland. You can add more salt next time," Yin Sanue said, taking a bite of her bun. "And Wednesday and Thursday?" "Wednesday was all vegetarian, and last night you went out, so I had dumplings downstairs." Su Lanfan glanced at her sideways. "So, who's the nanny?" Yin Sanue quickly thought on her feet and smiled. "You're my boyfriend." Su Lanfan snorted, then turned to look at the two girls standing in front. "Are you two still standing here to pay for dog food? Come on, it's a special blend, fair price, 100 each." The two girls were stunned, then their faces turned red as they walked away in anger. Fong Jun on the side was laughing so hard he couldn't stand up straight. With all the commotion from the girls, Yin Sanue decided to stay and sat down next to Su Lanfan to attend the class together. Fong Jun sat beside Yin Sanue and lowered his voice. "Senior Yin, was Su Er always this good at retorting when you first met him?" Yin Sanue nodded. "Always been like this, never surpassed." "I figured," Fong Jun chuckled. "Su Er's only redeeming feature is his face. The rest of him is full of flaws. Bad temper, sharp tongue, poker face, OCD, and lazy." Yin Sanue added, "The worst part is how he attracts attention everywhere, even in the dead of winter." Fong Jun laughed out loud. "Senior Yin, you're indirectly complimenting yourself. No matter how many people Su Lanfan attracts, he only revolves around you. I'm really curious how you managed to tame him. This guy is so picky in the dorm. If it weren't for our friendship, he would have been beaten up countless times." "Who'd beat up whom, I wonder?" Su Lanfan interjected. "Even the three of you together couldn't take me down." "Damn, look at that smug face." Fong Jun got a bit worked up. "I bet he's been this punchable since he was a kid. Got beaten up so much that he took up Taekwondo for self-defense." "You're just jealous of me." Su Lanfan arrogantly raised his chin. Fong Jun was about to respond when someone in the front row called him. He gave the two a look and left with a "see you," moving away. Yin Sanue nodded. Su Lanfan didn't even lift his eyelids and continued what he was doing. He reached around Yin Sanue's back, slipped his hand into her down jacket pocket, and wrapped his arm around her waist, pulling her closer. "You had a lot to say to him, didn't you?" His tone was as usual, but Yin Sanue knew he was jealous. Back when they weren't together yet, there was a time when they were out shopping, and Yin Sanue saw a cute cat by the roadside. She bought some food to feed it and stayed there petting it for quite a while. Su Lanfan was displeased and awkwardly said, "You treat cats better than you treat me." Yin Sanue didn't catch on at first, so Su Lanfan grabbed her hand and rubbed it against his own head, saying, "Isn't it softer than a cat? Just pet me from now on." From that moment on, Yin Sanue knew he was the jealous type, and rather childish at that. She ruffled his hair and reassured him, "Whatever I say, it's always about you. If there's anything you want to say, we can talk about it when we get home." "No, we won't talk when we get home. We'll do something else." Su Lanfan started to flirt. Yin Sanue choked and whispered, "Su Lanfan, please maintain your scholarly image and be a little reserved. Class is about to start." Su Lanfan confidently replied, "When you're talking to other guys right next to me, I can't stay reserved." Yin Sanue bit her lip. "He's gone? I won't talk anymore." "Good, save your energy." They only had one class in the morning. After class, Su Lanfan and Yin Sanue headed home, while Fong Jun returned to the dormitory. The three parted ways in front of the teaching building. Back in her senior year, Yin Sanue had rented an apartment in a neighborhood not far from C University, and she had been living there ever since. Su Lanfan had helped her find the place. It was a new apartment fully furnished and the rent was cheap. The only downside was that Su Lanfan insisted on staying there too, pestering her every day. On their way home, they stopped by the supermarket. From now on, no more stockpiling like a squirrel, Su Lanfan said, displeased as he looked at the 5 bags of salt in the shopping bag. Earlier in the supermarket, he had asked Yin Sanua to get 2 bags of salt, but she had brought back 5, saying it was better to stock up since they were buying anyway. If you keep being such a homebody, not going out to get some exercise, I'm worried that our physical stamina will become too different, leading to an unsatisfactory sex life. Su Lanfan, how do you manage to relate everything to that? Yin Sanua slapped him lightly. The me in your book, isn't that how he is? Thinking about it anytime, anywhere. Actually, I'm telling you, your writing isn't exaggerated. I'm a young guy, full of vigor, and I've been holding back, not making a move on you right on the street. Su Lanfan was truly good at settling scores. Yin Sanua pursed her lips. I was wrong, okay? I won't write about you anymore. When they got home, Su Lanqing, Su Lanfan's friend, called, and Yin Sanua answered. The two chatted like they were back in high school, giggling for a long time. After hanging up, she turned around and saw Su Lanfan staring at her. Yin Sanua felt guilty and tried to appease him. I'll cook today, you just relax. She said that and tried to run, but Su Lanfan said, stop, and she froze in place. Su Lanfan asked, did you tell her about us? Yin Sanua stammered, not yet. Su Lanfan immediately got angry. Yin Sanua, what exactly do you mean by this? How long are you going to keep sneaking around with me? Sneaking around?
Su Lanfan, I didn't.
Don't give me that. Su Lanfan interrupted. How long has it been since I confessed to you? 5 years. 5 years. And you still haven't told anyone.
Yin Sanua was stunned.
It had already been 5 years. Su Lanfan is the cousin of Yin Sanua's high school friend, Su Lanqing. The first time they met, she was 16 and he was 13. It was during summer vacation at Su Lanqing's house. At that time, Yin Sanua fancied herself as a bit of a tomboy and loved teasing the well-behaved Su Lanqing. The two of them were originally sitting on the couch, watching a drama, when Yin Sanua suddenly asked, do you know why girls are called little white rabbits? Su Lanqing curiously asked, why? Yin Sanua cleared her throat, her eyes fixed on Su Lanqing's chest, and in a playful tone, she said, because they're carrying a pair of soft, white little bunnies. You're being so improper, Su Lanqing scolded, reaching out to hit her. Yin Sanua jumped off the couch, dodging lightly, and patted her own chest. Can't help it. Since I don't have a pair of little bunnies, I have to pretend to be a big bad wolf and tease others instead. Su Lanqing, embarrassed and annoyed, picked up a cushion to throw at her but suddenly stopped, exclaiming, Lanfan, you're awake. Yin Sanua turned her head and locked eyes with Su Lanfan's dark gaze. The young boy was delicate-looking, with finely sculpted features. He was leaning lazily against the wall, looking casual and unbothered. She froze for a moment before realizing what was happening. Clutching her chest, she let out a dramatic cry. Su Lanqing, why didn't you tell me there's a little handsome guy in your house? My reputation is ruined. Su Lanfan, however, remained calm. He glanced at her again and said, a tomboy doesn't need a reputation. Yin Sanua later learned that Su Lanfan usually lived in S City and didn't come back often. His mother had passed away when he was very young and his father was busy with work, so during summer vacations, he was sent to stay at Su Lanqing's house. Since her first impression was already less than ideal, Yin Sanua decided to just let it go. She continued to be her unrestrained self in front of Su Lanfan, not bothering to hold back. Su Lanqing was gentle and pure, often not even realizing when Yin Sanua was being inappropriate. But Su Lanfan always disapproved in a serious tone. Yin Sanua, stop being so improper in front of me. Yin Sanua glared at him. Kids shouldn't interrupt. I'm just giving your sister a heads up, so she doesn't get tricked by someone as good at teasing as me. Su Lanfan gave her a sidelong glance. You do realize I'm a kid, right? Don't corrupt me. Yin Sanue burst into laughter. You think you can be corrupted? More like you'll corrupt others. Su Lanfan sat up straight, pretending to be proper. I'm clearly a model youth of socialism. Yin Sanue couldn't take it anymore and tried to hit him, and then Su Lanqing joined in. In the end, the three of them would often end up laughing together. In their second year of high school, the well-behaved Su Lanqing unexpectedly started dating. That summer, Yin Sanue and Su Lanfan helped her cover up so she could go out on dates. On a scorching hot day, the two of them sat in a KFC, staring at each other, waiting for Su Lanqing to finish her date so the three of them could go home together. Su Lanfan suddenly asked, "Have you ever been in a relationship?" Yin Sanue replied with a serious face, "I'm still just a kid." Su Lanfan gave her a complicated look, took a sip of his drink, and then said, "You should have a sip too, cool down a bit. I think the heat's gone to your head, making you act all innocent in front of the nation's youth." Yin Sanue burst out laughing. "You? The nation's youth? Must be poisonous, right?" Su Lanfan raised an eyebrow. "Thanks for the compliment. The more poisonous a flower, the more beautiful and attractive it is." "Hey, Su Lanfan." Yin Sanue laughed so hard her stomach hurt. "I always wondered why Su Lanqing was so easily embarrassed. Turns out all the thick skin in your family went to you. You better be careful. With that sharp tongue of yours, most girls won't be able to handle it. They'll stay far away from you. With a face like mine, they won't be able to resist," Su Lanfan said, stroking his chin in a flamboyant manner. Yin Sanue couldn't stand his smugness and reached up to squish his face into a bun shape. "This way, you're actually handsome." Su Lanfan let her squish his face without moving. After a while, he suddenly snapped out of it and quickly swatted her hand away. Seeing his face turn red, Yin Sanue was surprised. "I didn't use that much force. Why is your face red?" "I'm treating you to food. Don't go complaining to Su Lanqing later." "I'm not a kid. What would I complain about?" Su Lanfan grumbled, adding, "I always get my own back." Yin Sanue thought he was going to pinch her back, so she leaned in and said, "Go ahead, pinch me." Su Lanfan didn't hesitate. He smirked and reached out, but instead of pinching her face, he pinched her lips into a duck shape and then teased her for a long time. Later, when Yin Sanue took her college entrance exams, she outdid herself, scoring much higher than usual. Su Lanfan encouraged her to apply to see university in S-City, saying that if she did, they could go together at the start of the school year. And he could help her carry her luggage and assist her during winter and summer breaks. It was rare for Su Lanfan to be so considerate, and since Yin Sanue dreaded traveling with luggage, she agreed without much hesitation. Before the school year began, the three of them got together again. While Su Lanqing was in the restroom, Su Lanfan asked Yin Sanue if she planned to date in college. Yin Sanue thought about it and said, "No way, being single is great. You've seen Su Lanqing dating. It's too hot in summer, too cold in winter, and you still have to go out on dates. For me, I'm always tired in the spring and sluggish in the fall, so there's no season that suits dating. I'd rather just enjoy myself." Su Lanfan replied, "That won't do." Yin Sanue was confused. "Me not dating. How does that affect you?" Su Lanfan looked at her, then suddenly leaned in and kissed her on the lips. "Because I want to date you." The boy had been drinking, and there was a faint scent of alcohol on his breath. Yin Sanue felt like she had been drinking too, feeling dizzy and lightheaded. Later, when Su Lanfan graduated from high school, he also applied to see university. In her fourth year, Yin Sanue decided not to live in the dorms anymore and started looking for an apartment. Su Lanfan took it upon himself to help. After they found a place, they celebrated both the move and the start of the new school year. Taking advantage of the alcohol, Su Lanfan forcefully kissed Yin Sanue again, his hands wandering mischievously. He said, "I confessed to you so innocently, but since you didn't accept, I have no choice but to be a rogue. I told you before not to act like a rogue in front of me because that's like showing off your skills in front of a master. Let me show you what a real rogue is. Don't be fooled by how carefree and outspoken Yin Sanua usually is. She truly hadn't figured out how to tell Su Lanqing that she had slept with her brother and was now his girlfriend. Worrying aside, she still needed to calm Su Lanfan down first. The typical crying, throwing a tantrum, or threatening wouldn't work with Su Lanfan. When he's in a good mood, you can cheer him up with just a piece of candy, but when he's not, he's impossible to deal with. Neither soft words nor harsh methods work on him. No matter if you act cute or throw a fit, he won't even spare you a glance. But generally, Yin Sanua rarely managed to upset him. Even though he had a bad temper and little patience that was mostly directed at others, he was very tolerant and patient with her. At most, when he got really annoyed, he would throw a couple of sharp remarks at her or give her a hard time in bed to let her know he was displeased, making her soothe him. But this time, he said nothing and resorted to silent treatment. Yin Sanua realized that this situation wasn't going to be easy to resolve. Still, she decided to try the usual tricks girls used to cheer up their boyfriends. First up, acting cute. Yin Sanua called Su Lanfan, "Su Lanfan, I can't sleep, I'm cold." Su Lanfan replied, "Turn on the air conditioner." Yin Sanua started to whine. "Turning on the air conditioner makes me too warm. I want to cuddle with you." Su Lanfan remained ice cold. Then just think about it. She kept whining for a while, but Su Lanfan stayed rational. "Yin Sanua, do you think I don't know? You've never fully said I miss you or I love you to me. You either leave out the subject, just saying miss you, or you add an adjective saying I like how sharp your tongue is. You always find clever ways to express your feelings, leaving yourself an out. You never speak in absolutes, never say something you can't take back. It's never just about me. It's never something you absolutely must have. But with you, I've never had any intention of taking a step back." Yin Sanua fell silent, and after a moment of mutual silence, he hung up the phone. Needless to say, her first attempt had failed. Yin Sanua wasn't discouraged, though, and quickly moved on to the next step, playing the sympathy card. "Su Lanfan, I'm sick." Yin Sanua lowered her voice, sounding genuinely worn out. Su Lanfan paused. "Go see a doctor." "No doctor can help. I've got a terminal illness. Whether it's traditional Chinese medicine, Western medicine, or no medicine at all, I just feel terrible." "Is this terminal illness the kind that gets better in 7 days with medicine or a week without?" "You're so smart." "Yin Sanua, I never need to be smart around you. I only know that if you really had a terminal illness, you'd pack up your things and run far away. You wouldn't tell me a thing. The best lie you tell is, I'm fine. And the hardest thing for you to say is, I'm not okay. No one knows you better than I do." Yin Sanua was silent again, so the second attempt failed too. This time, she gave it a rest for a while before making her next move. She went straight to the boys' dorm and blocked his way. Yin Sanua grabbed Su Lanfan's hand. "Let's make up." Su Lanfan asked, "Have you figured out how to tell Su Lanqing?" Yin Sanua didn't answer, just blinked up at him with a look of pitiful innocence, while her small hand mischievously scratched his palm, trying to break his composure. But the boy who used to get flustered by her flirting had now turned into a gentleman, completely unmoved by her teasing. Su Lanfan tightened his grip on her hand. "Yin Sanua, I really want to sleep with you. But if I'm going to sleep with you, it's with a lifetime in mind. If you're not planning on that, then don't lead me on. Let's forget about the past. I'll consider it as letting you have your way. But from now on, I'm going to stay pure and only sleep with my future wife." It was clear that seduction had also completely failed. After that day, Yin Sanua didn't show up for quite a long time. Fan Jun watched as Su Lanfan's mood darkened day by day, feeling like Su Lanfan was a ticking time bomb that could explode at any moment, hurting both himself and others. Unable to bear living on edge like this, Fan Jun decided to call Yin Sanua. But just as he was about to, she called him first. Yin Sanua said, "Fong Jun, I want to ask you for a favor." Fong Jun, with his usual playful tone, replied, "Signorine, as long as you two can make up, I'd climb a mountain of swords or plunge into a sea of flames for you, no questions asked." Yin Sanua chuckled. "It's not that serious. I just need you to make sure Su Lanfan." "All right, Signorine. You can count on me." After getting Fong Jun's promise, Yin Sanua hung up the phone and sat in front of her computer, lost in thought. When Su Lanfan was around, he wouldn't even let her spend too many hours in front of the computer each day. Sometimes he'd tell her to get up and walk around, saying she was getting too fat, which made him feel gross when touching her. Other times, he'd tell her to eat some fruit, saying that staring at the screen too long was bad for her skin, which made him less eager to kiss her. He had a sharp tongue, always sounding critical and arrogant, but in reality, he was thoughtful and very caring. Perhaps it was because he lost his mother at a young age that he was more mature than his peers in many ways, with a stronger ability to live independently. Even though she was older than him, many times it was actually him who took care of her more. She remembered once asking Su Lanfan, "What do you like about me?" Su Lanfan scratched his head. "If I knew what I liked about you, I would have quit by now." She thought for a moment and rephrased the question. "Then why do you like me?" Su Lanfan was silent for a long time before he finally spoke. "Yin Sanua, I know why the Earth orbits the Sun, why metals rust, and why organisms don't directly synthesize proteins from DNA templates. Simple things, complex things. Even if I don't understand, I can learn to know them. But no matter how much I think about it, I can't figure out why I like you. I've asked myself, tried to find a reason. Is it because I like your smile? Like when you play around? Or like when we bicker? It's all of these, but none of them, because even when I add them all up, it still doesn't fully capture how much I like you. I really like you so much that I wish I could control your thoughts, your eyes, so you'd only think of me, only look at me. It's so frustrating, so powerless, yet it's sweet like honey, and I'm happy to endure it. Can you understand this feeling?" As she thought about it, Yin Sanua sighed. He had always been like this with her, expressing his love without holding back. But she had always been too cautious, overthinking everything and passively accepting his affection. So this time, she decided she would be the one to express her love and respond to his deep feelings. On the agreed day, Fong Jun tugged at Su Lanfan's blanket and said, "Su Lauer, let me tell you, there's a voice live stream on Weibo at 5:21. Leave me alone, I'm annoyed." Su Lanfan rolled further into the bed. "Careful, or I'll beat you up." Fong Jun laughed. "Wanna bet? I bet $200 you won't touch me." "Whoa, you're serious?" Before he could finish speaking, Su Lanfan had already yanked the pillow and threw it at him. Su Lanfan's tone was unfriendly. "I'm looking for someone to vent on, so if you keep nagging, we're really gonna fight today." Fong Jun clicked his tongue and shook his head. "I'm so fed up with your half-dead attitude. I'm telling you, that live stream is by the BL master Wen Liang, who's about to confess to his boyfriend on Weibo. If you have the guts, then don't." "Who did you say?" Su Lanfan interrupted him, turning over and grabbing Fong Jun by the collar, pulling him toward the bed. "Say that again."
Who?
"Damn, you're trying to kill me, cough, cough." Fong Jun tried to pry Su Lanfan's hands off. "BL master, Wen Liang, Wen Liang. Does that name sound familiar? You should thank Senior Yin. She's the one who woke you up." Su Lanfan paused for a moment, then suddenly released him and flipped over to grab his phone. But as he stared at the screen, he couldn't seem to find Weibo. Fong Jun chuckled. "Look at you, so hopeless. It hasn't even started yet." "It's scheduled to start at 5:21. Do you even remember what that number means?" Su Lanfan didn't bother responding, instead calming himself down before opening Weibo. Of course, he knew that Wen Liang was Yin Sanua's pen name. She had once told him that it meant hearing about the coldness of the world. But Yin Sanua didn't like mixing her writing with real life. Although she had registered a Weibo account, she never posted personal information on it. Occasionally, she would update her writing progress or promote a new novel, but she never asked him to follow her. Su Lanfan searched for Wen Liang in the Weibo search bar and clicked on her profile. It showed that a live stream was in progress. Su Lanfan put on his headphones and joined. For a while, there was no talking, just the song Confession Balloon playing, a song Su Lanfan had once sung for Yin Sanyue. At 5:21, Yin Sanyue's voice finally came through. She said, "It's now 5:21, which sounds like I love you. My boyfriend is here, and this message is for him. He's someone who gets jealous easily and isn't easy to coax, so don't try to compete with him." Hearing this, Su Lanfan suddenly felt a wave of relief wash over him, clearing away the days of frustration. He grinned and quickly typed, "Obviously, I love you more," and sent it. In the live stream, Yin Sanyue continued. "The reason for today's live stream, as I mentioned on Weibo before, is because I upset my boyfriend and made him sad, so I want to confess my love publicly to get his forgiveness. Thank you all, lovely people, for joining. Before I start begging for his forgiveness with sweet talk, I'd like to say something else. A lot of people ask me why I write BL when romance has a broader audience and better earnings. But maybe it's because I've always wanted to write about a more perfect, idealized love. One that transcends gender and age, where one soul is drawn to another, where one person falls in love with another. In most young adult romance novels, there's no escaping the trope of the strong male and the weak female. The female is always the one being pampered, too passive in the relationship, expected to be shy, reserved, and so innocent it's almost naive, just to be seen as cute. Or even if she likes someone, she can't confess, can't be proactive. She has to be demure, self-respecting, and play hard to get. But that kind of love, to me, feels more like a one-sided dependency. So, I write about two boys. They're not constrained by gender. They can both be strong, brave, and ambitious. They don't have to hide their love, don't have to feel ashamed of their desires. They're open, honest, and equally matched. As Su Lanfan listened, he raised his right hand to rest behind his head. He had once asked Yin Sanyue why she wrote BL, and at that time, she had explained it to him. She was a very contradictory person, possessing both the carefree nature of a boy and the reserved nature of a girl, making her lively and unpredictable. Often, he didn't know which side of her personality would take over in the next moment or what surprising action she might take. Just like now, he had never imagined she would publicly reveal her most genuine thoughts like this. In his earphones, Yin Sanyue's voice continued. After explaining my reasons, you might start to wonder what kind of person I am. But in reality, the characters I write are idealistic. They represent the personalities I wish to express. Especially in matters of love, they are straightforward and direct. When they love fully. When they hate openly. When they say, I love you, they mean it with all their heart. When they say, I don't love you, they leave without looking back. But in real life, I'm just like many others, cautious, overthinking, always trying to leave myself a way out. That's why I'm so restrained in love and unwilling to give my all. But my boyfriend is different. He has always loved me passionately and openly, making sure I feel his love every single moment. He wanted his sister, who is also my friend, to know we were in a relationship, but I always refused to tell her. Just 2 days ago, I called my friend, and she said she had known all along. My boyfriend had told her a long time ago. That's when I realized he had already carefully taken care of the difficulties I might face. So today, I'm doing this live stream to respond to his love, and from now on, I won't just passively accept it. I will love him like a man, as I wrote in my stories, expressing my feelings without reservation, standing by his side as we grow together, being his woman, loved by him, sharing kisses, hugs, and all the affection. Su Xiaogo, I love you. After hearing that final sentence, Su Lanfan rolled around on his bed like an idiot, almost falling off in the process. Fan Jun glanced at him, thinking that if he asked for the $200 now, Su Lanfan would probably hand it over without even blinking. Sure enough, love lowers one's IQ. After the live stream ended, Yin Sanua thought Su Lanfan, given his personality, would rush back to her place and they'd have a passionate night together. But Su Lanfan actually stayed put and went home that night. Yin Sanua went over to his place. Yin Sanua asked directly, "Why aren't you coming back?" Su Lanfan, lounging on the sofa, responded lazily, "I should let you stew a bit longer. What if you're not used to not having someone cook and do the laundry for you? You might want me back as your servant." Yin Sanua touched her nose and moved closer, throwing herself onto Su Lanfan. "Su Xiaogo, are you done being so aloof? If you don't come back, I'll really get mad." Su Lanfan didn't reply but pulled her. "Get off." "No." Yin Sanua shook her head. "If you don't come back with me, I'm staying here." Su Lanfan grinned. "Yin Sanua, are you that eager?" Yin Sanua grabbed his hand that was on her waist. "Who's eager, who knows?" Su Lanfan chuckled. "I'll ask you again. Are you getting off or not?" Yin Sanua firmly shook her head. "If you don't come back with me, I'm not getting off." Su Lanfan smirked and suddenly called out, "Dad." Yin Sanua was startled and turned her head to see Su's father coming down the stairs. "Xiaofan, this must be Sanua?" Su's father said with a smile as he walked over. Yin Sanua quickly called out, "Uncle," and then whispered to Su Lanfan, "Let go of me." Su Lanfan chuckled quietly and replied, "Not letting go," who was just refusing to get off. Yin Sanua pinched him hard in frustration. After Su Lanfan had his laugh, he kissed her forehead and finally let go, standing up while holding her hand. He introduced her formally. "Dad, this is my girlfriend, Yin Sanua. I really like her." Yin Sanua's face flushed deeply. Later, Yin Sanua learned that Su Lanfan had deliberately arranged for her to meet his parents. Su's father mentioned that he was originally going on a business trip, but Su Lanfan called him suddenly and said he needed to come home. Su's father also thanked her because he had never seen Su Lanfan so happy and lively and appreciated her for making his son feel as happy as anyone else. "Don't do this again. Luckily, my heart is strong. Or I'd have been scared out of my wits," Yin Sanua said, still a bit dazed from the surprise meeting. Su Lanfan ruffled her hair and said, "You made your confession like a proposal. I had to let you meet my parents quickly. I had been wanting you to meet them anyway. And there's one more thing. Since you're still in good health, I should mention it now." Yin Sanua tensed. "What is it?" Su Lanfan pulled her close and nibbled on her earlobe. "The house we're living in now, it's not someone else's. It's our new home, so our first time was in our very own bridal chamber. Now that my parents have met you, all that's left is for us to get a marriage certificate and have a wedding."
Yin Sanua was stunned.
No wonder Su Lanfan had bought red bedsheets and insisted on having their first time on the big bed in the master bedroom. She had thought he was into ceremonial details. Now it all made sense. "Su Xiaogo, you're something." Yin Sanua pinched him. "How did you know I'd chase after you?" Su Lanfan grinned. "If you hadn't come, I'd have found a way to get you here. I've used all my little tricks on you in this life. I feel like if I were Sun Wukong, you'd be the Buddha, and no matter how I transform, I wouldn't escape your grasp. That's good. Just remember to love me honestly from now on." "Can I not be honest?" "You can try." "Forget it. I don't think I can outwit you." Su Lanfan smiled and leaned down to kiss Yin Sanua.